I don't know how you guys do it, but as far as like squaring a pin blank, this little thing right here, this is the ticket. You can spend $8, $30. You can spend up to $50, $60. You can spend a lot of money on the drill press jigs and different things to square your blanks to your tubes. I'll be showing you how I do it. It's really simple, guys and girls. It's just little tricks to the trade. Guys that have been doing it for a little bit probably already have something like this going on. But anyway, for you new people, you guys will love this. For squaring a blank the way I'm about to explain it, to square that tube off to the blank, the best way that I know how, you need a pin mandrel that is adjustable. I mean, you do not need an adjustable pin mandrel, but you need some kind of guide that your 7mm tube can slide on to act as the guide for squaring your blanks this way. And the adjustable mandrel allows you to run the shaft in to where it's not very long, and then of course swap it over to your tailstock side, and when you put the blank on this end, it'll act as your guide. I'll show you more about that. But having an adjustable pin mandrel to begin with for this process is a plus. So we've glued our tube into our blank, and our next step is to trim the blank right to the tube, just barely touching the tube. But we want to do that in a way that when we trim it, it is square with the tube. So what we are looking for is something like this. This is what we're going for. Trimmed, flush, and square with the tube. Like I said, every time anyone talks about it, it's not square the end of this blank, it's square it to the tube, which is why I'm going to show everybody how it is that I do it, so that people know. So before I actually get down to squaring and flushing up my tubes, I go ahead and trim off, you know, as close as I can without actually hitting the brass. And the reason that I don't like trimming it all the way down on my table saw is because once or twice I've had it actually smash in one edge of the brass tube or something like that. So I just get it real close with the table saw, and then I take it over to the last process in squaring up the pin blank, at least the last process for me. So like I said, yeah, I take my adjustable pin mandrel and I flip the shaft around so that the side with the threads goes inside my tailstock, and I tightened up, leaving approximately 3 inches of that shaft sticking out, and then I insert it into my tailstock. Okay, so basically this is what it looks like. This is my adjustable pin mandrel with the shaft flipped around, approximately 3 inches sticking out, inserted into my tailstock of my lathe. So that's what that is going to look like. Okay, I have trimmed this blank up. It is really close to the brass, but it's not trimmed to it. This is where, when they say square the blank to the tube, this is how I perceive it. This is how I feel it's the best way to do it. So from here, I'm going to just slide this blank onto the pin mandrel setup, you know, like I was saying earlier. And once we get that done, we'll go back to the drive side of the lathe. Okay, so earlier I was telling you guys that this little thing right here, which this is literally just a piece of cedar 2x4 that I picked up on a job site and turned it around and was just messing around and ended up using it for this. So just any kind of wood that you got around, kind of shaped like this. This is the idea. You want to be able to chuck it up in your chuck, you know, however you mount it. All kinds of ways out there, you guys know that. I have 150 grit sandpaper. I just CA glued it to this little dude, clamped it together a couple of minutes, and it was done. So the idea is to chuck this up in your lathe. So basically this is what we're dealing with. This is what the setup should look like. And this is obviously that little piece chucked up into the drive side or the headstock of the lathe with 150 grit sandpaper. This is our pin mandrel with the shaft flipped backwards, approximately 3 inches sticking out, with our pin blank on it, and the tube is glued in it, and this is going to just act as our guide to slide this pin blank. And I feel like this is the best way to guarantee that you square the end of your blank with the tube. So there it is. I own the mandrel. The drive side was free. This works great for me. Give it a try. You know, like I said, it does a great job with the finished job. I mean, it doesn't require you to be that meticulous when you're making a pen, but I know I'm not the only one. There are other people out there that just want to be that meticulous, because after all, it's a lot easier to get a good ending when you've started with a good beginning, right? All right, guys. So this blank's finished. Square to the tube. I'm going to put the pin together. I'm going to use black enamel. It's probably going to be sick. Actually, I will put a picture of it up at the end of the video. Well, there it is. I told y'all I'd give you a picture of it. You know, I'm no photographer, everybody, so this thing looks nice though. It's hard to tell in my lights, but my lights are good for my shop. They're not good for videos. Anyways, this is a Bloodwood black enamel hardware. I think it turned out pretty killer. Thanks for watching the video. This is my first video on YouTube ever. And tomorrow's my birthday. I don't really know how this works, but I guess I will give this to my 100th subscriber. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, guys.